Hello, everyone. We've got a great discussion today. We've got Ray Gary, the CEO of I Donate, here to talk about their incredible Give Anywhere platform. I think you want to stick around and hear more about this really leading edge technology. So stick around.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
This episode is made possible via the support of our sponsors, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd. Ray, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Ray, we're thrilled to have you and excited to learn more about your platform. I have previously been unfamiliar with this, which I shouldn't admit, but I imagine if I'm unfamiliar with it, not that I know everything, but there are probably other people who are as well. Why don't you take just a minute and give us kind of the overview, and then we can go deep.
Sure. We have what we call a donor engagement platform. So unlike a lot of systems that are in the nonprofit market that process a donation, that serve as a point solution, we've actually built a platform around this idea of donor engagement. So know who your donors are, make sure the ask of the donor is relevant, and then really multiply and stimulate engagement and giving. And functionally, it's made up of a suite of really four kind of key components. One is the donation channels, which include the ability to give on the web, peer-to-peer, text giving, event-based giving, the typical digital channels that you would expect. Two, the marketing automation, so the ability to do an outbound campaign and track the activity associated with that. Three, the payment networks. We're a little unique animal that we have both cash and non-cash payment networks. And then, of course, four is the data intelligence to tell you how well you're doing, the health of your organization, and are you a good digital marketer or not.
Excellent. I want to talk about cash and non-cash first. So what do you mean by non-cash? Can I give you my sofa?
Well, sort of. I mean, we're a little famous for that. We started that, and we built, I think, the world's only non-cash gateway. So you can actually go onto our system and give a car, give electronics, give jewelry, give stock. A lot of people don't realize this, Devin, but the non-cash market is about $40 billion a year.
Wow.
35% of it's stock, depending upon what's going on in the stock market. The rest is things like yachts, vehicles, boats, real estate, electronics, collectibles. And, one of the things that got me really inspired about getting involved in this industry was when you look at the Giving USA data and you look at it for the last 40 or 50 years, we've been stuck at 2% in terms of giving of our disposable income for 50 years. And I was really motivated and inspired by how do you unlock or unleash that? And well, one of the ways you do that is you get out of income giving and you get into wealth-based giving. I can go on and on and on. I won't bore your podcast here, but we spend $22 billion a year on self-storage as Americans. We're a stuff nation. We're a consumerism nation. And so, by unleashing or unlocking assets and turning those into donations, you can begin to move the needle and do some things that are really interesting and fun.
Okay. Now that concept is appealing, and I don't want to get too bogged down with this, but let's walk through the logistics.
Sure.
I'm a donor. I've got, let me just think of a semi-tricky example, but that would fit well within. So I've got a second home I want to donate. So it's real estate. I own it free and clear, no mortgage. Let's keep it relatively simple. How does the app or how does that help transfer that title and all the legal work that would customarily go with that donation? Walk us through.
We divide the assets into two types. There's simple and there's complex. Something like real estate or home, you have to involve an advisor or somebody that liquidates those things, whether it be like the National Christian Foundation in Atlanta or Fidelity or groups that specialize in sort of complex assets. We source those, but we don't actually go through the liquidation process. We do the simple assets like a vehicle. So let's take a vehicle. You have a vehicle, you can go onto our system, you can walk through somewhat of an auto trader kind of process, make, model, condition, and then we're connected through our system to all the national liquidators, and in some cases retail, and we actually liquidate that, take it into our foundation, and process that gift and give the organization the net proceeds less a transaction fee for us. And we do that with everything from stock to we've even done over $1 million worth of grain, commodities.
Mm-hmm.
We've even done llamas.
So it seems to me that the tax code now essentially allows a donor to donate, to take a tax deduction for what you actually sell it for. Is that right?
That's correct. A few years ago, the law was more advantageous. They would give you up to, I think, a $2,500 deduction for a vehicle or something like that. So it's hurt the vehicle market a little bit because it's the greater of now, what it sells for. So you're right. But we follow that. And the value proposition for somebody like I Donate to our customers is it's effectively a business process outsource where we do all that work for them, including the IRS reporting. And their donors just get the net proceeds and they don't have to turn it into cash.
So I Donate itself is a nonprofit, or it operates a nonprofit affiliate?
We're a for-profit. We have a nonprofit arm, but we're a for-profit. And I want to really emphasize to you, non-cash is really exciting and we have a lot of plans for that. But in our overall donor engagement platform, it's just a tender type to us. Our donor engagement platform is really trying to go out and help these organizations become sort of masters of their digital marketing.
Yeah.
And non-cash is a tender type, just like MasterCard and Visa.
That's very fascinating. Now, does your platform allow for peer-to-peer kinds of fundraising, crowdfunding type campaigns where someone might go on to a platform and want to set up a fundraising campaign? Sometimes people do it for their birthday or some sort of thing, and the goal is to raise money for their favorite charity.
Yes, we have a full peer-to-peer. Our philosophy or architecture to date is we're really more of a B2B organization. So our peer-to-peer campaigns are campaigns that an organization would start and then push down to their advocates, versus a crowdfunding kind of a GoFundMe, which is kind of more bottoms up.
Mm-hmm.
We're really excited about peer-to-peer because we're working on I think a kind of a revolutionary next version that gets away from sort of the static experience of peer-to-peer and gets to be more interactive and live, because it's a pretty stale, static experience today. And, if you look at things like, phenomenals like Twitch and all these other interactive sites, people like to engage and do things in real time.
Sure. Well, what is the most popular use case for your platform?
I'd say, our web giving tends to be most popular, and only because it's the best. We worked really hard over a couple of years to develop a superior web giving. We use embeddable technology. So something that's very familiar in the for-profit world, where it's literally like a YouTube string, 2 lines of JavaScript, you copy, paste it, and you put it on your website. And the power of that is you honor the domain. So when you go to that web page, you see the brand of the organization and you don't lose the navigation of the website. So it's a branded experience that the customer really appreciates, versus the majority of the industry is click off to a third-party form, and it creates anxiety and abandonment rate, things like that.
So it sounds like it could easily be embedded into a blog post. It could be embedded into a page on a website, whether it's the home page or the donate page, but anywhere on a nonprofit site without a lot of help from an IT developer.
Well, you stole my line. You can embed it on a Facebook page. You can embed it on a blog. The power of it is you can build as many pieces of embed code as you want. So on one part of your website, you may want the gift array to be $25, start at $25. On another part of your site, you may want to focus on the gift array starting somewhere else, or you may want to focus on just non-cash items.
Right.
So we give you the ability to customize that code, and you never have to talk to anybody in IT. And we love IT people, but it's built for the digital marketer.
Well, yeah, the reality is nonprofits, oftentimes, especially small ones, don't have those resources.
That's correct.
So that's why they go to the competition of someone that has an offsite page, just because they can do it without an expensive integration. So
our approach was to give them the power of a big shop, even though they weren't a big shop or didn't have a big staff.
Well, it's a really powerful tool. Tell us a little bit about pricing. It's got to be the most expensive option out there.
Well, I would say, we're a premium priced offering. We're not the most expensive. There's a big public company in our space that prices a lot higher than we do, but we're not the lowest price option. We're kind of upper mid to upper.
Give us a sense of how it's priced.
Well, the platform itself will probably start in the neighborhood of $500 to $800 a month. It's a SaaS-based subscription model, because keep in mind, it comes with 5 or 6 giving channels in one box. Right. And we took a unified approach to the platform that not only do you have all the giving channels, but you have a single merchant account with a single point of reconciliation for the people in the back office. So we made it really easy and unified for you. And so you can really get rid of 5 or 6 platforms when you buy.
Tell us a little bit about what your customers look like. I want give us a description so that the folks who are listening will recognize whether they're looking at themselves in a mirror or someone else.
Well, our customers range from faith-based organizations to higher ed to health and human services. We have, for whatever reason, we have a lot of pet rescue organizations. We have many, many universities, higher ed universities, private schools. We have about 30 to 35% of our business is faith-based, so ministries, and we even sell to churches, certain aspects of our product. But we cover a wide range of nonprofits.
What about scale? Give us a sense of, are people using this to collect $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month? What's kind of the floor and the ceiling?
I appreciate you asking me that, because over the past 12 months, a lot of people don't realize this about iDonate, is over the last 12 to 18 months, we've taken our product to an enterprise class state. And now we're selling to some of the largest organizations in the industry. One that we signed yesterday, I won't give their name, processes almost $20 million a year digitally.
Wow. So,
and our system was built and architected for that sort of scale and extensibility.
So I presume that your service now comes with a $20 million a year guarantee, right? Not really. Okay. Well, Ray, you've had a remarkable career. You're a great guy. What's the most, what are you most proud of having accomplished over your career?
I think this season of my career, I was very fortunate to work with some of the most successful people in the world, some of the wealthiest and most successful entrepreneurs in the world, really. And we did some great work, and we accomplished some amazing things. But the idea of waking up every single day and innovating so that the output of what we do turns into good, it's easy to get up in the morning. If we're great at what we do, then it creates more good dollars. And so we track what we call gross monetary value, GMV, that goes across our network. And we love to see those millions of dollars that go across our network, because we know they're pouring back into water wells, sex trafficking, adoption, evangelism, whatever it is. And that's easy to inspire us. And so we love what we do.
Similarly, Ray, what do you think is the most important lesson you've learned over your career?
Well, there's a lot of those, and I hate to be trite when I say this, but it is all about people. When you get the right team around you, and it's a combustible chemistry that happens, that everything is exponential, and it's hard work, and it takes a lot of time to get the right mix, and we've done it here. And 1 + 1 can equal 7 if you have the right chemistry and the culture, and culture fits right in that. And so I'd say I learned a lot of hard lessons about not having the right chemistry and not the right team.
Why are you doing this, Ray? You could be doing anything.
Well, as I said, I'm kind of one of those guys that went through a little bit of a halftime experience and had a lot of success in the first half of my career, and really didn't want to spend the next half of my career just making money and raising the profit flag, and wanted to make a difference. And as I said, I'm one of the lucky ones. I know you once quoted Steve Jobs in one of the talks you gave, and I'll do the same thing. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the ones that gets to get up in the morning and take all the gifts and talents that I've been given and I've worked on my whole life and turn them into impact dollars. I mean, it's easy to get up in the morning.
Oh, that's great. Ray, what's your superpower?
I've never been asked that question. I don't know. Probably my faith. Faith is very important to me, and that would probably be my superpower.
Yeah, I get that. Appreciate that. Ray, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. And I know you're busy, and so it's a sacrifice. But before you go, if you would take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about iDonate and connect with you personally.
Just to click on idonate.com is the easiest way, and feel free to email me directly. It's rgary, Gary, at idonate.com. I answer all the emails.
Fantastic. Well, Ray, again, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today, and we wish you every success in helping to help nonprofits raise more money to do more good.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All righty. Let's do some good.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
Thank you for listening. Devin Thorpe's mission is to end extreme poverty, improve global health, and mitigate climate change before 2045 by finding and sharing the stories of those who are doing the most good. You can join with other listeners to accelerate Devin's mission by visiting helpdevin.org right now.